What is going on, everyone? This is Andrew O'Connell with Pristine Capital, coming at you with yet another market recap video. I'm also the Director of Research at LaDuke Trading. It is December 23rd, 2020. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy this content, and I will continue to make it for you. Today we're going to be talking about the price action in the indices, the volatility. We're going to go under the hood and check out those sectors and style factors, take a look at some trades, and then we'll wrap up with our options order flow. But before we jump in, quick risk disclaimer. Nothing in this video should be construed as investment advice or recommendations. Please follow your own trading plan and your own risk parameters. And last but not least, do not YOLO your entire account into any one of my trades. So with that being said, let's jump right in. Today was some holiday price action at its finest. Not really all that much going on. We had our S&P 500 up 0.09% on the day. We had the NASDAQ QQQ down 0.5%. We had the small caps IWM leading the pack up 0.85%. And we had the Dow Jones up 0.4%. And if you take a look at this ES chart right here, you can see we had, this brings me way back to, the election, where we had our very bullish sequence post-election, and we had maybe like a month and a half of just pure bullishness. And now you can see we've really just been consolidating sideways for, I'm actually going to count this out, for a good 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This is our 16th day in consolidation. So this is a good, 2.5 trading weeks where we have not done anything. And you can see today we tagged the monthly value area high. We actually closed below the 5-day exponential moving average, but above the 20-day simple moving average. But you can see that those two moving averages are kind of converging on each other. And you can just see the price action is getting very tight right now. So this is definitely, we're pretty much in a sideways market. Although we are, above the monthly value area, this is getting pretty interesting because, if we're going to have a Santa Claus rally, it's pretty much already Christmas, if you know what I mean. So we're about to enter the new year, and we've just had this consolidation period for quite some time. That being said, there are a lot of names under the surface that are having, just these moonshot rallies. So let's take a look. We'll check out the Qs, which did a little bit worse today. Let's see how they look. So the Qs, for the first time in quite a while, closed below the 5-day exponential moving average. So you can see here, we haven't been below the 5-day EMA in a good, probably 5 to 8 trading candles. It's pretty interesting. Closed on the lows. Definitely sending a bit of fear into those market bulls, especially people that are a little bit too overextended with positions, that sort of thing. But we'll have to see, how this all resolves. Not really too much volume going off on this holiday week. But yeah, still above the monthly value area. Still looking okay for the Qs. These are still in more of an uptrend than the S&P 500. And then the IWM, the index that just will not go down. Take a look at this. Look, so we had our bullish sequence, and that bullish sequence just really never ended for IWM. So you can see we're continuing to make new highs, and we closed above the 5-day EMA. So the IWM is clearly showing the most relative strength. Let's take a quick look at these sectors and style factors. And you can see some of the leaders actually took a break today. So we had the solar stocks up 0.84%. They are showing heavy momentum. But then we had the Innovative Tech Fund down 0.86%. We had the ARC Next Generation Internet down, almost 1%. Even ARC Genomics down 0.3%. If you take a look at our sector laggards here, transport's up 0.36%. Real estate, which has continued to lag, down 0.68%. And utilities down 0.2%. Really the standouts today were the regional banks up 3.3%. I actually put a trade on in Morgan Stanley today to try to capture some of that bullishness. Then we had European financials up 2.7%. They were on a tear. Immediately after the election, European financials really crushed it for quite some time before completely petering out. And then we had the cannabis stocks also did well today, up 2.34%. I do have a position in that YOLO ETF. If we look at our style factors, you can see today was pretty much a reversal day under the hood. So we had the momentum style factor down 0.96% and growth down 0.65%. And then we had the high beta, style factor ETF finished the day up 2.16%, which was our big standout. And we had the cyclicals, also performing very well. So to me, it looked like, we've had a lot of these growth stocks and momentum stocks, have a really nice run. So you can see like that momentum style factor ETF is up 6.49% on the month. And it looks like there was just some profit taking in some of those high flyers. And, given that those high beta stocks were taking a break for a little bit, it's like, all right, we'll rotate the money in here. So, yeah, a bit of a rotation, a bit of a curveball today, even though the price action was pretty much, not really too much on the surface. And for some of the trades that I did today, so I took a Morgan Stanley trade and I bought some call options with a March expiration date. And I bought these, well in the money. I believe I bought the 65 strike. So didn't want to get too crazy with the leverage, just trying to capture some upside if these banks, continue to move. Then another one that I did, I got stopped out of the second half of my API trade. So this one I'd put on this big breakout candle right here. I took a target and closed out half the position up here at this R1 pivot level at around 47.63. So I had a gain on about half of it, then took the other half off for a loss today. I stopped out when this thing crossed below 40. So overall, this trade ended up being, it might have been like a small gain to a scratch. Not really much to write home about on this one. But it looks like API, looks like it's beginning to roll over. Like, we'll have to see if this was just a little bounce or what. But given that it was so weak today, I'm glad that it's just out of my portfolio. So API was out. And then, some trades that I was watching, but I do have on here twice. That shouldn't be on there. QS was one that I was eyeing up today. Didn't end up taking a trade. But QS, there's just been so much options activity in this one. And sure enough, like right when I am considering taking a position, this thing just completely rolls over. So we'll have to see. This one closed above the 5-day EMA. It is extremely overbought still. And this is a very highly volatile stock. But this is just one that I'm continuing to watch. Baidu is one that I put on yesterday, cited that in the video. And today's price action, was exactly what I would want to see. So I got in on this big red candle, just realizing, hey, we're still just consolidating in a range. I've already traded this thing twice and had pretty big gains on it both times. And I want to see, if I can play it for even more upside. So today we got the perfect price action where we got a bit of a shakeout down here. So at one point, Baidu was down, like almost 1 to 2%. And then the sellers just completely ran out of ammo. And this thing slowly auctioned up, throughout the day. So if we take a look, let's see if we can find, we'll go to the hourly chart. Yeah, this one was very interesting. So let's see if my TOS wants to cooperate with me today. Okay. So yeah, Baidu, you can see we have a dip. So this is, like 7 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, so we closed yesterday, somewhere around that kind of control, just slightly above it. And then in the morning, we actually dumped below it. And you can see we tagged the weekly value area low at around $185. But then you can see a big volume just came and started bidding this thing up, throughout the day. So you can see this is from 10 o'clock on. So from 10 o'clock on, some bullishness in Baidu. So I'm just continuing to hold my February 90 strike calls. And then GBTC is one that I did add a little bit to into the close today. And GBTC, I'm using this one for some exposure to Bitcoin. And this is one I added an exposure here when GBTC was trading around $14. So like I added it on a breakout. I forget which breakout candle it was. But there was some technical breakout that happened, and I was like, okay, I'm finally going to add my Bitcoin exposure. And this thing has about doubled since then. And I am actually trying to just add a little bit of exposure. So I added like a third to my position. So we'll have to see. I saw there was some controversy with Ripple XRP, and that one just completely fell off a cliff. So who knows if there will be more, uncertainty around these cryptos just in general. But this is, what I like to see, where after a nice run, we're just consolidating in time here. And I do believe that Pomp is coming on to CNBC tomorrow morning. Let's check that out, because that could actually be a little bit of a catalyst, either way. So let's go into Twitter, because I actually just want to see, now that I'm on the topic, if I read that right. Yeah, let's see, because that would be pretty nice. Yeah, check this out. So I'll be on Squawk CNBC tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern to talk Bitcoin with Kevin O'Leary. So, a lot of times with CNBC, you can get the retail crowd going. So I put that on given, I wanted to add to my Bitcoin exposure anyway. And Pomp is just like the biggest like Bitcoin evangelist, always pumping it. So yeah, I just wanted to add a little bit more on the bone right there. And let's see. Yes, we got QS, MS. Yeah, other than that, it was a pretty quiet day on the trading front. I'm not trying to make too many big moves into the holiday. Just kind of letting things ride and seeing where the chips fall. And I might actually do some cleanup, tomorrow, just in this little shortened day we have. But we'll have to see. So let's check out. I'll leave you guys with some options activity here. So let's see. We're going to look for the large activity. Yeah, I see QS coming in again. So there's something there. I need to do more research on that company, if they have like the golden goose or what. Maybe you can see some Baidu calls going up at 327. That is exactly what I want to see for my position. We have Tesla, always some calls going up in Tesla. It's just, mandatory at this point. We had some Slack calls going up, and I did add Slack via common shares yesterday. Some March calls going up. QS, these are for January, a $4.1 million order. More QS for January. XL, this one had a pretty wild run today. I believe it was formerly the SPAC under the ticker PIC. This one had a fantastic run. What I think is interesting is there's, a big player coming in to fade, solar energy. Maybe they have just a really big position and they want to hedge given that it's, overextended. But yeah, you can see this is the July 2021 115 strike puts. Let's take a look at TAN. Yeah, DraftKings is another one I keep watching. One of my favorite stocks. Yeah, you can see TAN just went completely parabolic. And who knows if this is, finally the exhaustion candle. So a lot of these like growth names, momentum names, growth sectors even, they've just gone on such a parabolic run. They've been moving so fast that I know the natural inclination is like, man, I need to get more trades on. Like, I'm not catching enough of this move. Like, there's so many things happening. But you just want to be careful, because when that move reverses, Who knows? Maybe it'll just be a consolidation in time. Like this consolidation in tan, it was actually pretty smooth over here. It was like a nice gentle ride down before the bounce. But who knows? This thing could also correct 5 to 10% in a couple sessions. A lot of these things really can. Like Fubo corrected a little bit today as well, although not really that much. Oh wow, 15%. So yeah, it's a pretty big drop. Like if you're FOMOing into Fubo on the highs, you lost 15% of your money in a single day. So yeah, this is the part of the move where suddenly it's like, oh, the people that got too exposed, they might get hurt right here, to be honest. You just have to be careful when some of these moves start to break. Yeah, NCLH, I stopped myself out of this one yesterday and I said, most likely as soon as I stop myself out, this one's going to start moving. Sure enough, we actually did get a really nice move today. So I'm actually eyeing this one up, to just initiate another long position. Like I have no shame in terms of getting back into something I was stopped out of. So we'll have to see. But yeah, it does look like, this one falls under the high beta style factor. And you can see this one's been correcting for a good 2 weeks. So I'm just noticing that rotation today came into some areas that have either gone sideways or actually corrected. But then on the other hand, a lot of these other style factors are literally at parabolic highs. So I think everybody just needs to watch out in case some big player just decides, hey, I'm going to sell some of my ARC Genomics fund or sell some of my Fubo or some of my QS. You just want to be careful that you don't get crushed in that move if and when it happens. Yeah, that about does it for today's market recap video. There will be no market recap video for tomorrow because tomorrow is really just a half day of trading. I don't expect all that much to go on. But with that being said, I hope you all have a Merry Christmas if you celebrate, and I will see you all next week.